Hey, so I didn't get anything done yesterday, so I'm back here with it. I haven't put it back together. I've been having a little bit of issue with getting this stuff here cleaned out, so I'm going to clean all that out. There's a ton of junk in here. Yeah, I'll clean that out, and then I'll put this thing back together. I got all the parts I need to run it to fuel source. I'm going to use galvanized piping, which, don't freak out. I know it's poisonous. I know it can kill you. I'm going to run it outside first, burn it off the zinc oxidization, or whatever the heck it is, the zinc coating. I'm just doing a mock-up with it, so I want to get it running. I want to see that it works. I want to make sure I get the right amount of flue. It was $4 for the pipe instead of $55. And I might do double-walled versus single-walled when I do it, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and run through this, and you guys can tag along in speed mode. Alright, so I got it all back together here. A few little weird things. Don't lose the little washer up here that I said don't lose before. I did lose it. And I don't know where it went. I dumped it down my drain or something when I was cleaning all the other parts. I just put another little washer on their spacer because if you don't space it the same, then your settings are going to be wrong on these two guys to start with, which I'm going to redo mine anyway. There's a diagram on Dickinson's website that shows how this little thing's supposed to go together, so not too big a deal. I didn't really need it. It was pretty simple, so I may need it. Maybe I did it wrong. We'll see. I haven't tested anything yet. I got a tubing flare here. I've got 10 feet of copper pipe. Put your fitting on first and make sure it's going the right way because this is going to screw into that, and I'm going to bend it wherever it needs to go here a little bit. Tighten it down, get it snug tight, and then you can slide it a little bit if you need to. And then the tubing flare guy just sits right in there and tightens on down. And I've got too much sticking out of there. It's hardly any, but it's too much. So I'll loosen this guy here for a second. Wiggle it up there just a little bit, let it push through with the crank till I think I've got about the right amount. It's easier to do too much or too little than too much because you can just re-crank it. So that looks pretty good to me. Start cranking this guy down, and it's flaring out there real nice. Looks like it's about perfect. And then undo it and check it. The idea is that it is going to cover up 45% or more. Well, I don't remember what it is. It's 45 degree flare, but I don't remember what the percentage is. But I want to cover most of the flare that's on my piece that I'm going to screw onto. So that fits almost perfect. I could do a little tiny more if I wanted to, but it's at least 3/4 of the way up there. So could talk to a plumber, look how to do this for real, because I don't know what I'm doing. I think that was actually my first time ever flaring one of these, so it's a free video on YouTube. You get what you pay for, I guess, huh? Coming away. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think these are going to leak at all. It's no pressure, so as long as they seem snug, I think they should be fine. At this point now, I'm going to go get some diesel fuel. I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to put the stovepipe on it with the little top that I got, and I'm going to go ahead and run it. I've put all this back together. I've got my fuel line on. My drain pipe is going to be this guy here for today. I'm going to run this probably into this tubing and then into like a motorcycle tank for today. Put the motorcycle tank up higher on like a little table on my back porch. Maybe not on my back porch, maybe out in the grass. I'm going to put on the stove top, put everything together, and I'm going to go ahead and fire it up with a gallon of diesel in that little tank. Alright, so I let it run for a little bit. I shut it down now, so I've got it metered. I did check it. You know, it's giving me about a teaspoon in 40 seconds. It might be a little bit not enough, which I guess is better than too much. You can figure that out as I go. So I've got everything off right now. Turn the fuel off. Sorry about all the ambient noise out here. And I've got a puddle of diesel fuel down in here. A little bit. I've let it run for about, I don't know, until I saw it come up in the reservoir. And then I've got alcohol in this guy a little bit. I don't need that much paper towel down there. I don't want to have a bunch of it. I'm just going to light that. And then I'm just going to drop it down there into the diesel fuel. Like that. And then I'm going to cover this thing. And I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Alright, so over there you can see my RM250 can. I filled it with maybe half a gallon of diesel fuel, and it still looks almost full. It's only running for about 10 minutes. It does not take much fuel to burn it. I've got just the copper line running to it. You can see the fan wires down the ground, there's nothing to that. And then I have the overflow valve just dripping right in front of it. If it starts to, I have a shut off on that RM250 tank, which is the reason I used it. Still hasn't got it going good. I've got it on 5 right now. Dickinson said run it at high fuel rate, even if you don't need the heat, just to get it going. One thing I'm noticing now though is the chimney stack got a pretty clean burn. I don't see any smoke. There was smoke before, now it looks pretty good. Alright, so burn test is pretty completed here. Looks like I got a little bit of diesel fuel leaking someplace. I'll have to figure out where that's coming from. I don't think it's coming out of the bottom. I think it was just on here a little bit. Maybe it's just the rain washing it off there. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's cooking right away in there. I got it set on 3 right now. Everything got a little wet here, so let's dry it all off. The stupid galvanized pipe has not even got hot enough to start cooking off the oxide anywhere, including the top probably. So that's going to be an issue. I wanted to use that galvanized pipe inside, but until it gets that kind of powdery looking residue, you can tell as soon as it does it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to do it though. Let's crank it up here to 4. I don't have the fan running, but I should have pretty good flow out here because I mean, it's got an unlimited amount of cold air. Being outside, shouldn't be any issues. Yeah, surprisingly, everything here is working pretty good for my jerry-rigged looking. The neighbors would probably call me in for making moonshine. Yeah, no, it's a good little stove. Puts out good clean heat. I have not smelled any diesel fumes whatsoever, which is nice. I expected it would have a little bit of smoke or whatever. But it looks like as long as you get it drafted and ventilated properly, this is a nice clean burning stove with no issues. I mean, you can't see anything coming out of here. I mean, it's really, there's just nothing. I get a little bit of residue on my hands, I can feel that, but overall this thing's pretty damn impressive.